Welcome back. Wednesday, September 22nd, 2021. Great to be with you. 602-508-0960 is the number. That is 602-508-0960 is our phone number if you'd like to join the conversation, raise anything you like. I want to welcome back our producer pro temp, Chris Llewellyn. He is the vice president of All Things Important, and we are delighted to have him here with us today. He'll likely answer the phone if you call. It'll be him. And Bill will be back with us tomorrow. Anything you want to share with the audience, Chris?
I mean, this is your show.
It's our show. It's not mine. There's no...
It doesn't say
There's
Seth
no
and
your in show. There's no I in teamwork. There's no my. It's everyone. This is a seminar.
But there is me in team.
I'm just the dial tone. You look great. You have been on an exercise kick, and until you hit an injury, you were doing wonderfully. You look wonderful. Do you have any advice on that front? You've been running a lot, right?
Yeah. Don't break your toe.
Don't break your toe twice.
Twice in a matter of 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I'm very clumsy.
Yeah.
But
Same toe?
the same exact toe. Yeah, I won't even get into the logistics of it. But I'm very clumsy in ridiculous spots where I can be on a side of a mountain or something like that, and I'm fine. I'm fine in situations where it would be scarier, but in normal walking around your house, bling. So.
Mark Twain did the best distillation of Aristotle I've ever heard. Aristotle describes humans as man as the only animal with reason and the gift of language, based on reason. And Mark Twain once illustrated that point thusly. He said, the difference between a man and a cat is this: if a human puts his hand on a hot stove, he'll obviously jerk his hand back in excruciating pain. A cat puts its paw on a hot stove, do the same thing. It'll, jump back with its paw. The difference is that the cat will never put his paw on a stove again, hot or cold. The human will only put his hand on a stove that's cold. And I'm thinking about that, Chris, because we're supposed to learn from these injuries. And so, when you bang that one part of your shin on that one corner of the bed, you do that once in your lifetime. Once. That little part in front of the ankle, you know what I'm talking about, just below the shin, that one, you do that one. I don't think you should be breaking your same toe twice in the same month.
No, and
you need to learn from these things.
Yeah, so I've been told. I am married. I have been told.
You're married. You could either be married or work with Seth. You get the same effect, except for certain things.
Same logic is coming in. I wish it was only twice that this had happened.
Oh, dear.
In the exact same spot on my house. But yes, I was in a very good routine. I found out I really enjoy running.
Well, do the rock and roll with me in January. You want to do it?
If I can ever wear a shoe again.
Okay, it would be great.
Absolutely.
Okay, so I know this isn't the best open, but we got a little Aristotle and Mark Twain in there. I wanted to because what I'm about to tell you is about the unhappiest open I could imagine. Okay? I don't know how often people go to the National Archives or go to the National Archives website. When tourists go to D.C., it's obviously a hot spot. It's where our original Constitution and Declaration, including other documents, exist. It's our National Archives. Best known for keeping the catalog that includes the Constitution and the Declaration of Independence. Guess what they did? Well, let me see if you can get this, Chris. This will be a good sense of what area of town you live in. If you were going to teach the Constitution and Declaration and you lived in 2021, is there anything you would do other than just teach the Constitution and Declaration? Might you do something else given that it's 2021? I'll help you. The National Archives has put a trigger warning on their catalog for people who go and read their documents lest they find something offensive.
A trigger warning?
Yes. They call it a harmful language alert. You don't believe me? Go to catalogue.archives.gov, the National Archives website. Go to their website, right under the main headlines right under the main line of tabs, harmful language alert. See, National Archives statement on potentially harmful language. So you click that, and they have a statement on potentially harmful language. The catalog and web pages of the National Archives and Records Administration provide access to many millions of descriptions and digital copies of the permanent records of the United States federal government. The catalog and web pages contain some content that may be harmful or difficult to view. NARA's records span the history of the United States, and it's our charge to preserve and make available these historical records. As a result, some of the materials presented here may reflect outdated, biased, offensive, and possibly violent views and opinions. In addition, some of the materials may relate to violent or graphic events and are preserved for their historical significance. The National Archives is committed to working with staff, communities, and peer institutions to assess and update descriptions that are harmful and to establish standards and policies to prevent future harmful language and staff-generated descriptions. Do you know what that last sentence does? That last sentence invites the industry of the woke, the crisis industrial complex. It invites them to complain. It invites them to tell us what we should have further warnings on. The National Archives is committed to working with staff, communities, and peer institutions to assess and update descriptions that are harmful and to establish standards and policies to prevent future harmful language in staff. I'll tell you what a future harmful piece of language is. It's a present harmful piece of language. It's that we need a trigger warning over the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution of the United States. Violence, outdated, biased, offensive, and possibly violent views and opinions. I'm going to shatter a lot of elementary students' fantasies right now. The Revolutionary War it was violent. The Revolutionary War was violent. By issuing the Declaration of Independence, violence came. I'm going to give you more information. I know this may come hard to you. Bear with me. Santa Claus doesn't truly exist, and the Civil War was really violent. And it was really violent in part because it was trying to establish whether the violence from 1776 meant something or not. The Constitution. People have fought and died for that Constitution. People have died trying to end it. People have died trying to preserve it. We had a caller the other day who reminded us the first thing almost any soldier abroad says he's doing is defending the U.S. Constitution. Sometimes it takes the work of violence to preserve and protect. Who knew the Declaration of Independence, the Constitution, and our other founding and other government documents would need a potentially harmful content warning? We're including the Declaration of Independence, we're including the Constitution, we're including the Bill of Rights here. What has happened in universities, you've heard me say it again and again with these trigger warnings and every other piece of junk thought they promulgate. What has happened and we dismissed at the university level is taking place there in the ivory towers and as, the fun of 18-year-olds and 40 and 50-year-old or 60-year-old hippie losers with PhDs will stay there and not affect the rest of the world. Don't worry about what's going on at the colleges. Don't worry about it. I'm sure people like Ben Shapiro have heard that their whole professional lives, or Charlie Kirk, people who try and do good work on the college campuses. I'm sure a lot of people say, don't worry about the college campuses. Well, those ivory towers had a lab leak, folks. And postmodernism and multiculturalism and political correctness and wokeness and censorship, they are no longer confined to just the ivory towers. We will now put bubble wrap and then around every American citizen before they read the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution. And then when we're done, we will give you some free Purell because it is the federal government that maintains the National Archives after all. What a shame. What a fall. Jean-Francois Revel once put it that a civilization that feels guilty for everything it is and does will lack the energy and conviction to defend itself. Strangely, it is always America that is described as degenerate and fascist, while it is solely in Europe that actual dictatorships and totalitarian regimes spring up. Isn't that the funny thing? Isn't it? I'm Seth Leibson, 602-5080, 960. Be right back.